What is going on Twitch chat and also the Discord stage channel? Welcome to your Strats Weekly for the week of 5 March 2022. As always, I'm your host, Auth. Thanks for being here with us tonight. Hope you guys are having a good time. Oh, this is weird, man. The weekly back on Twitch after, oh God, Taco, how many years has it been? I mean, we were on hiatus for like a good 2 years maybe, and then brought it back almost a year and a half ago at this point. We've been on YouTube for the longest time, and now we're back where it all began. And every time we come back to Twitch, there's one fewer person on camera. Rip.
Yeah.
Rip and pepperonis. All the former co-hosts. It's just me now. Vecino's doing fam stuff today. Tommy's got IRL stuff. We got some more people in here to hang out. Gotta get Tube up here pretty quick. I get Siri up here pretty quick. I'm all by myself. I gotta click everything. I don't have anybody to help out. Welcome to your Strats Weekly.
Thank you.
What's up? What's up? Oh,
hey,
man.
hey.
It is thanks everybody for being here. We're doing it all by ourselves tonight. So if it goes horribly wrong, that's what's going on with that. But yeah. Strats Weekly as always, brought to you by Bawls. Come on, there we go. Ooh, that was a good can open.
You didn't drink any balls before this one?
Not a single. I mean, not before the weekly. I save all of them for the weekly.
You are
Look at that.
definitely more chipper than I've seen in a while.
Oh, dude, that's just adrenaline. Pure, unadulterated adrenaline.
Look at that lion's mane.
Oh, I know, dude.
What
It is
a
out of control today. Braden is missing out. He's not here. He is missing possibly the most insane like hair everywhere day I've had in a very long time. His loss. Hopefully he checks the VOD after the fact. But yeah, this is the Strats Weekly where we talk about all kinds of stuff. Mostly what's going on with our games, what we're doing, what we're playing, and such. And sometimes other stuff. We'll see how she goes. But first and foremost, our fearless ESO leader, Two Boy Android's here. We're gonna jump right into it. Talk about some ESO. For those who don't know, ESO is a free-to-play MMORPG. Came out back in 2014.
It's not free to play.
It's sort of free to play.
It's
There's
a
no
one-time purchase.
Yeah, it's pay to play, I suppose. It's buy to play, I guess is the way.
One-time
to put it.
purchase is the model.
Mm-hmm.
But most
The Guild
people
Wars
refer to
model.
it with, yeah.
Now, you can play it first person, third person. The amount of build, customization, character variety available is staggering. It's one of the few MMOs I've ever looked at, or games just in general, started to look at the depth and complexity of character builds and was slightly balked by it. Just, I'm not saying they're all good, but by God, there's a lot of options. That's for sure. Brandon did make
Definitely
it.
are. Right now, there's around 540 different sets in the game that you can choose from.
Good Lord. That is not a small number of sets. And that's that's without looking at even all of the shout out Gary for the Prime sub. Brandon Precious, I see you all over there in the chat. Yeah, and then you take into account all of the different racials, things like vampire and lycanthropy. I'm never sure how to pronounce that.
Yeah, either works, but yeah, lots of options, definitely.
YouTube usually has a Saturday evening engagement, but he was able to be with us here tonight. Love to see it. How are things? How we doing? Doing good?
Yeah, guild's ticking along. Unfortunately, we haven't kept the trader the last couple weeks. The backlog of funds that we'd been using to keep the traders sort of diminished now, so we're just building that back up before we get it again. And other than that, we've got events on there ticking by. I think we're running 4 or 5 a week at the minute. still gonna mix things up a bit more again. And someone just gifted me a sub on Twitch, thank you.
Oh yeah, Ouchie just dropped all sorts of fliff
Ouchie.
over there in the Twitch chat. He is
Did
determined.
the same for me. I was like, why is my name Pink on Discord now?
Ouchie is determined to be the one who is at the top of the leaderboard for anything.
All the time.
We appreciate it, Ouchie. Appreciate the support.
20 gifted subs from the absolute legend
20?
himself.
Jesus.
Yeah, man.
Good lord.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But yeah, for those who don't know, we have a lot of people playing ESO. Over 600 people with the role. He just mentioned some of the guild events just at a glance. Oh man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 5 or 6 events currently scheduled, various things, PvP as well as PvE. For those who either are playing or who are thinking about joining up, one of the big things that Tubeway, and we talked about it last week also, Tubeway is definitely looking for some assistance in planning and managing events. Right now, a number of the other guild leads have various IRL things that are interfering with their gameplay time. If you are interested in assisting him, even if it's just, you've got an idea for an event that you want to do once in a while, maybe once a week or once every couple weeks, he would love to hear from you about that. Or if there's one of the events that's currently going on that you're just a big fan of that you'd like to take ownership of, he would not say no, I assure you of that. He is looking for some assistance in that regard. That's you. Please, please, please talk to Tubeway.
Yeah, definitely looking out for some more event hosts or anybody that's interested in helping out running day-to-day things. And yeah, we've got trials for aimed at absolute beginners and intermediary level as well. So they're trying to get a bit of something for everyone going.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Every time we have almost as many ESO people still trickling in as I see for any of the other games around here, and it's never like no two people are the same. Like I see people who are coming in who are just starting ESO for the first time. It's been out for pushing almost 8 years at this point, and they're trying it for the first time.
So.
And then you've got other people who are salty vets that are just looking for their next home because their previous one, for whatever reason, they decided to leave.
Yeah, we've got some members who've been around since beta days and others who've just recently joined. Got a good few console transfers as well.
Oh, really?
People who've left the console behind and come over here.
And
which is another great thing about accessibility with the game. There's a lot of gamepad users out there, and they're not really impeded in any way for using the gamepad.
Interesting. That's actually really cool. I like when games are able to give good gamepad support, and also, I mean, just Steam's interface, the ability to go in and actually tweak the various settings with controllers, just generally speaking, any controller, whatever one you choose to use. I think it's a super, super cool feature that ESO can take advantage of, because it is on Steam. I know Bethesda, I just saw something the other day, they're finally nuking the Bethesda launcher and everything's going over to Steam. I think
so. That does not apply to the ESO launcher.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, ESO launcher is still a thing, which a lot of people are happy about.
I mean, I guess
I don't really care either way. I play it on Steam. Most people play it on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a strong portion of the ESO community that has this massive fear of Steam for some reason.
I mean, there's been, I remember when Steam very first dropped, I had gone to a LAN party, and I had not had a PC until about maybe a year prior. My family just had Macs because mom and dad, the school district they worked at, ran on Macs. Therefore, we had Macs at the house. So I didn't actually have my own PC until I moved out and bought one. And so I bought a copy of Counter-Strike and everything to play at the LAN party. But my copy was one that installed on Steam, and everyone was furious with me that they had to install Steam in order to get the multiplayer to work because it just wasn't working. otherwise. I wasn't the only
Nah.
one, but I was the one they were really pissed at. For whatever reason, I was the one that caught all the hate. So people have been weary and not happy with Steam for whatever reason for the longest time, which is crazy to me because you look at Steam and then look at any of these other launchers out there and tell me why Steam is the one you're scared of, that you're like not happy with. I don't understand it personally.
Yeah,
People
go after
just-
Origin or Epic Games.
Oh, exactly. Ugh. What was that, Siri?
I was gonna say people are just naturally against change for whatever reason.
That's true. Well, and I know there is, if I remember correctly, a bit of a hush hush nobody talks about thing with ESO, where there are some side-loaded things through an additional like modded launcher, which I imagine if everything fully moved over to Steam, that would nuke or make much more difficult. So perhaps that's where some of the shenanigans stems from. Goodness gracious, Vecino just
When
dropped
you
a sub
launch
bomb
the game
also.
from Steam, thank you for the sub bomb. When you launch the game from Steam, it pops up a launcher and pops its updates through there, so it's all quite universal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it is
And there
still
are-
effectively through Steam.
I think the people that are in ESO that don't like Steam are also under the notion that Steam runs the servers.
Oh.
Like, no, that's Microsoft.
Oh.
Yeah, Microsoft now, ZeniMax.
So any kind of server stability,
'Cause I
maintenance
did-
type things.
I did have a certain confrontation with a ex-leader of ESO when I was helping run it, and he thought that Steam was running the servers, and that's why they were bad.
Which is funny because, in my experience at least, which take it with a grain of salt. My experience, Steam servers are rock solid. So
Yeah.
I don't, I don't
The
understand.
thing is, though, after that, like, incident happened, the ESO servers got way better.
Hmm.
I think, like, really once like ZeniMax started really integrating with Microsoft's, like, just like services, their like tools and stuff got better. I mean, their API got better. It's still not great, but
Better. I mean, we'll take better for sure. Like any step in the right direction is a step in the right direction. Even though it may be biggest loser mantra. Talk about that more later. So Tube, I know you guys are on the NA mega server. What do people need to know if they want to join you and the rest of the crew down in the Skooma Den to play some ESO?
So if they want to join us, they just got to grab TSO role on the Discord, and best bet is post a message in Skooma Den, ask for an invite, and any one of us can get you an invite. Usually an officer will get to it, but technically anybody in the guild could get you an invite. We grant invite and bank access to all members after somewhere between like 3-4 days and a week, after a few days in guild, just so that you're not gonna clean it out and leave.
Since you gotta protect the guild stash. Someone who's had a guild stash robbed. Not it feels good. What I know that there's a lot of content dropping this year specifically with ESO. What's the next big event or content drop that you're looking forward to in the near horizon?
So the next one is update 33, Ascending Tide, I believe. I think it's about 2 weeks out now. And
Nice.
that's going to bring a lot of changes to the current DPS meta. So they're increasing hybridization possibilities, and that could lead to some peculiar setups coming soon.
There's going to be, with a game like ESO and the type of player that I think it would attract, who likes to experiment and play around with different things to see what's viable. I imagine there's going to be all manner of incredibly silly things, ranging from quite effective to straight dumpster fire, happening
Yep.
whenever that drops.
Yeah, the way it's altering things is mostly more likely going to be making things that were previously less viable more strong. It's not much weakening coming out, but it's sort of a relative weakening because other things are getting stronger.
I think that's the good way to do it, though. Like, if you have to make adjustments, rather than nerf batting the several things that are good, to bring them down to the less effective level, I always prefer that they instead beef up and improve the things that are underperforming, because, like, unless you have something that's truly broken, that's just far and away doing twice as much as everything else, some incredible magnitude better, generally I think you're better off bringing things up to standard rather than pushing that bar downward. I'm glad that they're going in that mentality with these changes for the most part.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good way of looking at it.
So yeah, if you're looking to play some ESO, like I said, we have a lot of people, well over 400 people, always in the guild. Fingers crossed we'll get our trader back this week. Head down to Skumadin. Ask for an invite. You don't even have to ask for anybody specific. However, if you are interested, like I said, in helping out with some of the leadership stuff going on or hosting and leading events, reach out to Tubeway. He'd love to hear from you and talk to you about what he's got already on his plate in terms of events, and discuss what you might be interested in bringing to our guild to help run in ESO.
Excellent. Thanks, all.
Vecino, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs.
Vecino come in with another
Thanks
sub bomb.
for coming,
Goodness.
Tube.
Yeah, Tube, thanks for being here. We appreciate everything you're doing for us out there in ESO. Good stuff. Next game up. Oh, we got to talk about some EVE Online. For those who don't know, EVE Online, another well-aged MMO, even older.
Like a fine wine.
Like a fine wine.
Fine Carico.
Yeah, you play a Capsuleer, which is a character who is basically immortal through a cloning process and neurologically link into your ship via your capsule and perpetrate all sorts of shenanigans. The EVE is kind of like the vision and scale that Star Citizen wants to do, but just not first person. And also it's actually
How
out.
many? God, Star Citizen's gonna
We're not going down this
genre.
If it comes out, it's going to be incredible. But EVE Online is already out, and the scale is massive. Lots and lots of stuff to do. It's full loot PvP. There are tons and tons of player-driven gameplay options because of that PvP system specifically. Lots of diplomacy and politics amongst the various corporations in the game. Strats, obviously we have a corp in the game. We also are part of an alliance along with Helix and Voidhounds called the Pretenders. We predominantly live and operate in wormhole space, Strats specifically that is, but we do all sorts of stuff besides that: PvE, PvP, null sec, low sec, high sec, and wormhole space. We do it all. There are almost always events going on. We have a lot of very clever things set up on the Discord to help us keep track of what is happening, especially within our specific wormhole, and in terms of keeping our secrets secret. I get in trouble for saying too many things sometimes, but I will say there are where is he? Oh, I scrolled too far. There are how many ops scheduled? There are several ops scheduled for the next some number of days. Dude, also the Eve meme game, the pictures for these events are incredible. I truly appreciate the shenanigans that goes on in the Fleet Ops channel with the pictures. But yeah, we do a lot of stuff in EVE. We are actively recruiting new players who've never played the game before, who are interested in getting into an incredibly deep and complicated game. We take returning players who took a break and decided to come back. We also take people who have never stopped playing. If that's what this has just always been your game and you're just looking for a new home, we will take anybody, provided we determine that you're not a spy, obviously. Oh my God, Zarek dropped a gifted sub bomb as well. So many gifted subs going out.
Jesus.
Goodness gracious.
Nothing but legends in the chat.
It's true. It's true. We are also, as an alliance, we are actively recruiting other corporations who are interested in supporting some of the wormhole space shenanigans that we get up to. Wormhole space is a very unique gameplay style. It's not for everyone, which is, like I said, why we do other things besides that. And not everybody lives exclusively in Hole. We do have people who stay predominantly in high sec and do stuff more in that area, just because, like I said, wormhole space is not for everybody. Going through a wormhole only to have it close behind you is just the worst. Especially if Pathfinder says there's no valid way back to Hole from where you're at right now without doing, some incredible number of jumps. It's a real feels bad. I wouldn't know personally because I don't play, but I've heard the woes. I know one time Vicino actually had to call a rescue service back when we were first starting to move into wormhole space.
Yeah, that's because he's fucked up.
Yeah, he did a oopsies and got very lost and had to get somebody to come rescue him. Oh, that was great. I got a real kick out of that. But yeah, we do all sorts of stuff in there, and we are, like I said, always recruiting. In particular, if you happen to be OCE, SEA, Aussie time zone, we have players playing literally around the clock in both ESO and EVE. But specifically with EVE, because of the PvP nature of it and the full loot nature of the game, we would like to strengthen our OCE, SEA, AU time zone a bit more. Not to say we don't have people playing during that time, we do. But it would not hurt our feelings at all if a corp out of that area was like, hey, like, we do wormhole stuff, we'd love to hang out with y'all. That wouldn't hurt anybody's feelings down in the EVE channels, I can assure you of that. Especially now that Siri's having to split time between EVE and Lost Ark. Guy, how he does it. If you are interested, though, in joining any of our shenanigans down in New Eden, you can head on down, hit up the Internet Spaceships channel. People you're looking for: Vorthos. Vorthos is the man. He runs the show down there for Strats Co. Wex is obviously Vorthos' friend. Wex is part of Helix. He can also get you a lot of details. Other notable names: Hisiri, if you can manage to pull him away from Lost Ark, would be someone to talk to. Bane, Vicino, again, if you can pull Vicino away from Lost Ark. Syad or Mazix, probably be some of the names that you're looking to talk to in terms of getting an interview and finding out if what we do is a good fit for what you're looking for as a player in EVE Online. But yeah, we do a whole bunch of stuff down there. If you're interested, Internet Spaceships, somebody will be on, and ask for a recruiter. You can also check the EVE info. We got a few things in there about how to get authenticated on the Discord and how to reach out to us in game as well. I think that's most of the EVE stuff. Siri, did I miss anything about EVE? I think I got it all.
I think that's it.
That's it. Well, in that case, it's time to talk about Lost Ark. Same old video. I keep forgetting to update the video because I keep either working or playing Lost Ark instead of updating my stream assets. One of these days, by God, there's going to be a video that doesn't say it's coming out on February 11th because it's already out and it's been out for a couple weeks. For those who don't know, Lost Ark, MMO that just came out in the States anyhow, very recently. Well, I say the States, the NAEU region. There has been an RU, a JP, and the original KR release prior to that. It is a top-down MMO, plays a lot like Diablo ARPGs in terms of like mouse movement, stuff like that. Phenomenal amount of classes, customization, and especially with the abilities, your ability to decide how you want those skills to function, as well as just a staggering amount of content. Like, holy crap, this game, I know it's been out for a couple years already, and that's a factor, but just the raw number of things you can do. It is a true amusement park, theme park MMO. They're just hundreds of islands. Well, maybe not hundreds, plural, but over 100 islands on top of the staggering amount of story content. Goodness, I think there's more story content after you hit level 50 and hit quote end game as there was before level 50.
Yep.
Just a ridiculous.
I love my story.
I don't. I hit G through all
Why
of
not?
it because it's all the same. It's just smashing the G key.
That's not nice.
That's the only story I've seen so far.
This is blasphemy. That's what this is.
Look, I don't look. We've been over this, okay? I don't begrudge anybody who enjoys a good story in their game. I don't judge anybody. I don't begrudge them. Y'all do you. I don't need to know why I'm killing something as long as it's fun to do it in game. If the gameplay
Like
is
a true
fun,
culture.
I'm here for it. I don't need to know why I'm killing it. I'm gonna tell you right now. I have over 1,000 hours in PoE. I have no clue who anybody is. I've never watched that story. I don't.
Artillerist, man.
I'm just trying to. I'm just there to enjoy, you know, the feeling of just nuking entire screens worth of mobs. Like that's what I'm here for, and finding creative ways to do it. But I hear good things about the story, and I have promised Saivo that I would watch that one island story. Keep forgetting what the island's called now. I know where it is. Which one?
Starlight?
Yep, Starlight.
That's such a great story. Holy
I have-
crap.
He told. I promised him I would watch it when we did the interview several weeks ago. I have specifically skipped over it, even though it is one of the easier islands to get an island heart from. I got my 20 island hearts, or island tokens, or island souls, or whatever the hell we're calling them now, because I think they changed the name on some, but not all of them. I don't understand that at all. That's another discussion entirely. But I skipped over it, even though it's one of the recommended 20 to do for your like quick 20, specifically because I didn't want to rush it. And I'm going to actually sit and watch that entire storyline. I'm going to listen to all the quest dialogue. I'm going to watch all the cutscenes. Promise.
Because Dark Shades over here is saying that his group makes fun of him for reading the story. Don't let him make fun of you. Lore is the best thing that happened to video games ever. It's what makes it art. And that's my hot take.
That's not necessarily a hot take. I agree that lore is important and it is what makes video games art. I just don't think that lore has to come in the way of a linear story or cutscenes and stuff like that. For example, I would say the lore in Souls-like games like Dark Soul and such is great, but it's all, you know, discoverable lore. Not like it's not something you're required to interface with as you are with
Ambient
something like
lore.
Lost Ark.
It's
Yeah,
great.
ambient lore. But like, is that what it's actually called? Is that the
No,
proper term?
I
No,
just said that.
But there is a term. There's got to be a term. I know there's a term for that kind of storytelling, like indirect
There-
storytelling. or
There he
something.
goes using all them big words again. Ah, can't keep up
5
with.
words.
I think
It's
it's
just called world building.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Good world building. Good world building is critical, and I think I agree. It does make for like art, and I think video games are actually art. I think people who think video games are childish and silly are just. I think they're silly and childish.
Yeah, it's actually it's lore versus story. That's what it is. Lore is the background. It's the area around the actual story of the here and now.
Okay, in that case, yes. I'm all in on lore. Story, can get out of my gameplay. That's what I'm here for. But yeah, no, Lost Ark. Lots going on in Lost Ark. Man, we actually have stuff we do need to talk about. Goodness. So we have officially identified the first 2 teams on each coast that are, I don't want to say we're scuttling them, but we're turning them into the alt guilds. We had talked about this even before launch, that we were going to convert some teams into alt guilds as we slowly work to merge everybody into the same couple of teams. So those teams, for NA West, it's Strats Co Earth. We are working to get the Strats Co Earth members put into other teams so that we can use that for alts. And I know Ouchie's been facilitating a lot of that. He and
Yep,
Siri have been
they've
working
been
together to
very
make sure we get everybody moved over.
Yeah, we're doing really well. We actually just pulled over a couple extras, and I've got a whole list lined up for the next several more as we gain more levels in the Strats Co guild.
Nice. That's what's going on with that. And then on the East Coast, Lance is, I believe, the NA East group that is being put into. I think we're moving those to Xiphos and Blade Spectre. Is that right? I believe that's right.
Yeah, that's right. We're working on doing that right now. Surge is putting those lists together. We're pulling a couple people from Lance into Shields and into Stratsko and then into Swords, and then hopefully we'll have that merger done soon.
And this is one of those things. It's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt. That's the God's honest answer. It's not super convenient to leave a guild and then join another guild after your cooldown ends. Hopefully only 24 hours, but somebody, I don't remember who, got hit with like a 2-week cooldown. I don't know what they were doing before they joined Stratsko in Lost Ark, but good God. Just flying between guilds.
Yeah, the punishments are actually very archaic in my opinion. It's and I could see why, because you put so much time and effort into building a guild and making sure research and everything is good to go. So they kind of want to make sure that you stay, but going from 24 hours to 14 days is rather drastic.
Well, I know we had a few people hit 72 hours. It seems to be the only ones I've heard are like 24, 72, 14 days. So I don't know what other delineations may exist between that 3-day and 14-day mark. I hope there's at least one at 7-day, because otherwise, goodness, this is brutal.
Someone did get a 5-day, but
5-day? Okay, so there is at least a 5-day.
Oh wow. Okay. Well then.
I'm just glad there's some stepping, but that also now I have more questions for the guy who had 14 days. Like, bro, what did you do?
yeah, nobody knows.
That's a head scratcher.
Moved his alt in and out of the guild and kept changing over and over again, probably.
I mean, yeah,
we had someone that did that. They kept changing who they wanted to have their main, and then when they decided that they were shifting, they had the same problem. I think they had a 5-day.
Oh wow. So yeah, it's an archaic system, and honestly, it's an archaic shenanigansy system that has cost us this problem, or caused us to have this problem in the first place, because we started with 30-member guilds in game instead of what they will eventually be, which is 100-member guilds. If they had been 100-member guilds at the beginning, we could have had 2 to 3 guilds on each coast. Bam, done, easy, that fast. But no, instead we have to do all this extra administrative shuffle.
Bam,
right in the kisser.
Well,
That's power right in the kisser.
I haven't had to leave my guild because Stratsko Earth is the best.
Taco is determined to go down
Even
with the
if
ship.
the guy that I led it with is gone.
Whoa!
Whoa, hey,
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
that's uncalled for. Okay.
Let me
Ouchie, it
tell you
was
about our
green
friendship.
team forever.
I am still green team. I'm still the guild
Oh,
leader.
yeah.
of the
Ouchie
green
is,
team.
Oh,
and
yeah,
actually,
okay.
Ouchie is the one that's still in green team, right? Technically,
Yeah, where's the
team. That's right.
where's the new
Slouchy
main, huh?
on Sork?
the new main's not even the same level. How can it be a main if it's not the same gear score?
Big
Is it
head
the one
thing
he plays the
there.
most?
Wrinkly brain.
I mean,
Yeah, but
in
Taco,
that case,
I have-
we got to talk to Siri about like what he plays the
Oh,
most.
I got a bunch of stuff to talk to Siri about.
What did I do? What did I do?
Well,
A
This is
bunch.
also coming from Taco, who decides to swap over to East Coast for days at a time.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I play East once or twice a week because there's people over
For
here
7 days.
and there's.
Yeah, I mean, we have
I'll
people
be
playing
on
on
one
both.
mega server. That'd be great. But
Yeah,
You're
true.
not wrong. It would have been really nice if we would have just been on a mega server. We should have had a mega server, and we should have put it in like, where do they have servers in Central? Chicago is
Texas.
like east of Central. Dallas,
Colorado.
I
I
mean,
think
with,
it's
as far as
Colorado,
AWS though,
Chicago.
yeah, I would think Chicago probably is where it would have ended up, which would have been pretty brutal for West Coast, honestly.
there's Indianapolis a lot too.
Well, but for AWS, because that's the thing you got to think about. Like,
yeah.
it had to be where they have a data center already. They're not going to just build a new data center just for this.
Oh yeah, they're gonna build an entire just $5 billion complex for Lost Ark. Let's go.
Precious said Strats win for life. Yeah, the Strats Wind group, I can say with confidence, You're gonna have to take us out of there kicking and screaming. Not for any other reason other than we're just beef.
Can I just go to Stratswind?
You can come to Stratswind. I don't care. I think we got room. Actually, I know we have room because I think Vecino moved his main over to Strats Co.
So good little
Whoa.
info bit is AWS has nothing in the central.
Oh, really?
The closest thing to central is Ohio.
Wow.
That makes sense.
So there's
We're
just
in
no
Ohio.
hope. Yeah. So there's just no hope of a true central. So they'd have to pipe their east and west data servers together and just have it like look at it would just have to balance which server to put any given group on based on where everybody was at.
Yeah, I mean they have edge locations like in St. Louis and such like that, but even still there's not an actual physical data center.
Huh. Well, there we go. That's how that is. Or that's why that is the way that it is. Now we know. But yeah. So we are beginning the first spin down of a couple of the teams. Part of that is because we have had, obviously there's been some burnout, or people who got excited, started playing and realized this game's not really for me, and that's fine. Like, not every game is for everybody. For example, if it's a single player game, it's not for me. That's simple. But we know it's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt for folks who are moving around. It'll be better in the long run. The nice thing is, eventually, this will all be behind us. We'll all be in the same 1 or 2 in-game guilds on each coast, maybe 3 in West because of the OCE-SEA group. And that'll be that. And then we'll just recruit into those as we get spots available, as people leave, or as we unlock those last handful of spots. Because I imagine at some point we'll actually not have anybody to put in until we recruit for it, just based on people moving on to other games, and as we start gaining 4 or 5 guild slots at a time, higher guild levels. I honestly can't wait for it to be over, though. I can't wait for us to all be finally merged together. Get that real sense of community we're going for.
True,
Would be
true.
nice. Man. So yeah,
It's gonna be good.
that's what's going on there. Legion raids also, those are coming very soon, which is interesting, as is the theory that possibly tier 3 gear honing is about to get a lot easier, or maybe not easy, a lot easier, but it's going to get potentially easier. If nobody's heard those rumors that are going around at the moment.
I have not. Can you explain?
So before launch, they accidentally on the website leaked something about some the accelerated pass. Remember all that debacle where they were like, oh yeah, accelerated honing. Oh no, lol JK, no accelerated honing. Stuff like that.
Interesting.
Do you remember that debacle like pre-launch though? Because Syvo sure the hell did. He had to go remake a bunch of videos. He's grumpy about that. He's big mad.
Oh, that's right. That's what made him have to go back and edit a lot of his videos.
Among other things. But yeah, that was one of the big ones, is the changes to the pacing. So there's a theory that since they're bringing Legion raids out so soon, right, the number of people who are at the gear score to even be able to participate in that content is incredibly small. Which begs the question, why are they coming out so soon? I mean, obviously that was the plan. They wanted to get us caught up and get us kind of on pace with where the other regions were. But this is like an incredible pace that they're expecting.
That's a pretty drastic leap, especially I think like most people are still in T2, like by a lot.
I don't think so. I think most people are probably in T1.
Oh, T1 now. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, just in terms, well, maybe not most anymore. If you include the bots, then definitely most.
Yeah, that's true.
Precious was very grumpy at the bots when she was playing a new alt today because they were just everywhere. But I think you're right though. They're definitely in T1 and 2 for sure. Whether it's 1 or 2 is kind of irrelevant. So they're bringing out this content that's later into tier 3. It's not like beginning tier 3 content. This is like tier 3 content that you do once you've done all the other tier 3 content and you've raised your gear score up even further, because I think it's 1370 for Legion raids. I think it's higher.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's high. Yeah, because I think the one after that's 1425.
So
14.
yeah, so like who is the content coming out for? Because so many people are not even there. Hell, they rolled back. Well, they didn't roll back the changes, but they made some nerfs to some of the T1 and T2 content because there was stuff that something like 10% of the player base or less had completed from tier 1 and 2. I mean, at that point, just using that data point, you can say, okay, well then potentially reasonable expectation that less than 10% of the player base is in T3, like really into T3. If you've got Abyss Dungeons and Guardian raids in T1 and 2 that less than 10% of people have played or completed, I should say. So I don't know. I think it's strange that they want to push us that fast into this get back on or get on the pacing with other stuff that's coming.
I mean, at least they didn't just give us tier 1 and then make us wait a while to get to tier 2. They kind of threw 3 years of raids and everything else at us at the beginning.
Yeah, I was kind of on board for that. To just be given tier 1 for like a month or two. Yeah, maybe not like super slow, but think of how much. So like I've been doing a lot of and I think this is part of why I'm not progressing vertically as fast as a lot of people, even though I typically play more efficiently. I think because I just had it in my mind that I was going to have time to do a lot of that horizontal content and do a lot of the, adventure tome stuff and islands and things like that are important in the long run to the strength of the account, the strength of your roster. But when they gave us all of this other stuff, people's goal became to smash all the way up to tier 3 and then maybe start dawdling in some of the horizontal content, whereas I've just been messing in the horizontal content as I went up, which is why I'm only still in tier 2.
Just ask this man about his peaches. Okay, go ahead.
Ask me about peaches. I'm happy to talk about peaches. I finished Deathhold Island today. I'm over halfway on peaches. I want to talk about how close I am on the dew. That's going to take forever.
Yeah, I mean, and one thing I can't stress enough is that so when you do get to tier 3 and you're 1302, make sure to go to your stronghold and do the level or the tier 2 honing bonus. Same thing for the tier 1 honing bonus. It's immense. Like it's really, really, really big because like even my alt is almost 1100.
Oh, wow. That's not nothing. Yeah, I noticed. I've done the tier 1 ones now that I'm in tier 2, obviously. Yeah, in terms of just making life better for your alts, that's probably a very good thing to focus on.
You're definitely going to come up to the point where people are really going to start looking at alts as, oh, you know what, maybe this first character I picked wasn't like me, for instance. Love the War Dancer, but the Sorceress is just like chef's kiss. It's so good, and so I'm changing my main over, but I have to catch up to my main first.
Right. Well, and this is the time also. I mean, it's a bit unfortunate with the Legion raids coming as early as they are, because as I understand it, switching mains, like the further up you go, the harder it gets, but it's not super hard at this point. But because of the just raw material and monetary costs in time it's going to take once Legion raid content is out and we're working through those gear score levels, it gets much harder to even just decide to switch mains, never mind facilitate that with resources.
Absolutely. So I think if you're going to switch mains, do it like if you're in tier 3 and you're at 1302, like 1325, I think that's like the cap of which I would say that you need to start looking at changing your main.
Yeah, well, and that's the real tragedy, because I know I can probably point to at least a half dozen people just offhand that I've sat in voice chats with on this server who the subclass that they want to main is not even out yet for us. But we're
That's
about
me.
to. Yeah, you, Siri, Taco, I know, Mir, I know for fact. I don't remember who I was talking to today. Somebody was talking about
Let's-
waiting on Scouter.
What,
it's-
we're waiting on Hammer Bro. We're waiting on Summoner.
Destroyer.
We're waiting on like 4 or 5 still, like 4 or 5 classes still.
Artist, we're waiting on Artist,
Reaper.
Lance Master.
Lance Master, Destroyer, Scouter, and
Summoner.
and Arcanist. So we got like 7 we're still waiting on at this point.
Aeromancer.
Not even out yet.
Yeah.
And then there's also, they've teased the female Berserker as well. I don't know if you guys have seen that picture yet.
No, I have not. That's
Yep.
dope.
They've teased a female, like the gender swap for the Berserker class. So that's going to be an 8th in the future. There's a bunch of classes that aren't even out yet that we're not able to do anything about, other than, maybe start banking resources, anything that's bound to roster, or maybe you just you use what's bound player, like bound to character, and then you sell everything else, and then hopefully mats are cheaper by the time your character, whoever you're actually wanting to play, comes up, and you can potentially justify buying mats off the auction house because you're buying them for less than you sold them for, type thing. I don't know. It's gonna be a weird one. Not a real enviable position. Fortunately, I'm very happy on Artillerist. There's some other classes I'm excited to play. I don't know if they'll. I'm not so excited that I'm like, oh, that's my main when it comes out, like for sure, 100%.
Here's the true testament though, is you don't really need to pick a main if all of your characters are your mains, right? So you just give equal love across the board. That's a revolutionary idea.
Coming from the guy who just rolled up his 7th character today. 7th character or 7th alt? Don't lie to me.
7th character.
Okay, that's reasonable. Just play a different one every day. Yeah, Precious wants
Yeah.
Artist real bad. And she's got at least a half dozen characters I know rolled up. Oh man, yeah, it's a tragedy.
I think too that we'll see boost, I'm sure, as well when characters start to come out.
I hope so.
That will help. I mean, Russia did that, right? So you could use crystals to start a character at a certain, kind of like the power pass, but further along, and then you would pay more crystals for how far you wanted the character to advance. So when they start releasing those, I'm sure we'll see something like that. Also, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, there is a mechanic, or there was in Russia, where you could take tier 1, tier 2 mats, turn them into tier 3 mats. So if you have untradeable mats now, you could just bank them, and then eventually you can cross all that stuff over, at least somewhat. So that could
I
be
hope
helpful
so.
for mains.
Because I've talked to so many people who are like, well, I'm just going to get rid of them. And I'm like, why would you? Like, you're definitely not fighting for inventory space right now. Like, hang on to them, because you never know what will happen.
Yep.
There's no point to throw them out. Like, or they might change. Hey, those are transferable via roster.
Yeah, that'd be, any of those situations would be definitely positive. Like, I'd be about. I mean, some I would prefer more than others. Like, hell yes, give me the option to, get a new character and shove it up to like 1302. I can just start in tier 3 with it, and I don't have to run through all of the other content. I'll spend some gems on that. I've got some gems laying around still. I'll do it. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. Yeah, that's what's going on with Lost Ark stuff. If you are, like I said, if you're in Lance on NA East, or you're in Earth on NA West, we are working to get y'all merged into some of the other teams so that we can start using those teams as alts. And then in the future, probably not this week, but I imagine within the next couple of weeks, we're going to identify another team on each coast and do the exact same thing. Start working to get everybody more and more consolidated in the same couple of banners game. Braden, are you still down there in the stage? Still down there in the audience? Do you feel like talking? Does your mouth work still? Braden had oral surgery yesterday, so he may not feel up to talking Biggest Loser things with us or not. I'm not sure. Ooh, I don't know if I changed the thing. Ooh, am I about to just like spoil it as soon as I click over? Let's find out. Oh, I'm smart. I didn't. ha. Let me check. Type at me. Yeah, let's see what he said.
He said no talks for me.
Yeah, no, he's probably a bit beat up. Okay, let me get the data over here. All right, I've got the raw data. Oh man, it's the raw data. Shit. Bam. All right, got it all. Ooh, let's see who was biggest loser this week. 3, 2, 1, go. It was Dragon. Congrats, Dragon. Dragon lost 2.81% of his body weight this week. He was the biggest loser. It looks like, oh man, we got 5 people in the Bawls Guarana timeout box. Blue Balls timeout box. What is it? Bawls Guarana, Blue Balls timeout box TM. There's what it is. That's what it is. We got 5 people over there. Sinish amongst them. Sinish, what do you have to say for yourself? Nothing. I'm gonna sit up here and not talk about it. We got a few people in timeout. Despite that, though, collectively, this week, Stratsco, all of us participating, lost over 31 pounds, nearly 31 and a half pounds. That ain't nothing. That's actually pretty exciting. I'm kind of surprised. Current standings right now, everybody is at least at break even. Overall, your top 5 are in first. Yours truly, Auth, still holding it down. Taco is chasing me down. He's less than 1% behind me. Zero Logic's following him in third. Adidas in fourth. And Woody the Elf Calgal in fifth. All of those people have lost at least 4.5% of their body weight since this initiative started, which is amazing. Honestly,
Congrats to everybody.
Yeah, like it's super, super cool. I'm excited about the money that's going to go to charity here once the quarter is up. I'm excited for the better health that everybody is going to have as a result of this, decision to participate in this. It's just good feels all around, and I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of you people. I don't have the new graphs, Eric. I'm sorry. I don't have the new picture. It's a spreadsheet. It's just a spreadsheet. Hang on, I'll show you the spreadsheet. Wait, where's the spreadsheet? Let's see. Nope. There? Nope. Where'd the spreadsheet go? There it is. Bam. There's the spreadsheet. Zoom in. Zoom in? Zoom. Nope. Not gonna let me zoom? Alright, well there's the spreadsheet. That's all I got. I don't have a graphic. Braden is under the influence of very strong painkillers because of oral surgery and being tired and miserable. So he didn't make a fancy graphic for all of us this week. He'll make it later maybe. Or maybe not. That's okay. We got the most important one, which was Dragon. So we have he's got his fancy I won this week picture. If anybody wants a copy of their picture, by the way, from previous weeks, let me know. I've got all those still. Well, yeah. That's the Strats Weekly for this week. That's going to do her. That's it. Thanks to everybody who came out. Anybody who watches this after the fact, whether that's on YouTube, Twitch, or you listen to the podcast, however you do it, we appreciate y'all. See you next week. Take care, y'all.
Bye-bye.